But I want you to think about how these people show up when they're on the stage. Let's think about Beyoncé. I went to one of her concerts this summer, and let me tell you, I've never seen main character energy like that anywhere. This woman owns every single inch, not just of the stage, of the entire stadium, and maybe I have goosebumps, and probably also of the whole city when she is in performance mode. And that's what I want you, first of all, to understand. You are capable of that level of aura and that level of embodiment. And main character energy method breaks it down and makes it simple for you. Famous experts are shaping our reality, right? Whether we're talking about somebody who's sitting in the Oval Office and being the ultimate famous expert who is shaping our world in ways that are just so scary, or whether we're talking about a famous expert like Michelle Obama. Think about her consequential, she is an earthquake in terms of how much beautiful work she's done in helping especially women of color and little girls reimagine who they see themselves as being for the next 7 generations, if not beyond that. So I am telling you now, if you don't understand, let me drink my tea. If you don't understand the value of your visibility, maybe you will hear it if I remind you that your insistence on invisibility is actually a vampire. You're listening to Madam Speaker Says, your no fluff cheat code to becoming the voice everyone listens to. I'm your host, Makhokhodi. If you've been waiting for a permission slip to straighten your crown and take up space like you invented the blueprint, Madam Speaker Says got you covered. No whispers, no apologies, just you, me, and some bold ass moves. Let's get into it. Welcome, and thank you so much for being here. You are listening to Madam Speaker Says. I am your host, Makhokhodi. Today we are finishing a 3-part series of a really fantastic training that we have done as a special thing for the podcast around storytelling this summer. So if you're new here, welcome. Again, I am Makhokhodi. It's such a pleasure to have you. We're doing things a little bit different from our typical programming for Madam Speaker Says. We're still focusing, obviously, on thought leadership, but in these 3 series that I've been doing, these 3 different sessions, I've been walking you through how to become a famous expert, because the whole thing of you having the receipts but you hiding your brilliance, I'm sorry, it is 2020, however much, in the year of all of the things that have been happening. This has been a really hectic year, and especially for my women of color coaches, business owners, folks who are doing things that are consequential, that we need more of in the world. This is not the time to dim your light. If anything, this is when we need you the most to be as loud and vocal and as built up through your platforms as possible. Because here's the thing, famous experts, which is just, the truth of what we call the fancy thing, a thought leader, famous experts are shaping our reality, right? Whether we're talking about somebody who's sitting in the Oval Office and being the ultimate famous expert who is shaping our world in ways that are just so scary, or whether we're talking about a famous expert like Michelle Obama. Think about her consequential, she is an earthquake in terms of how much beautiful work she's done in helping especially women of color and little girls reimagine who they see themselves as being for the next 7 generations, if not beyond that. So I am telling you now, if you don't understand, let me drink my tea. If you don't understand the value of your visibility, maybe you will hear it if I remind you that your insistence on invisibility is actually a vampire, right? It is a revenue vampire to your bottom line. It is the silent thing that is killing your business. How do I know this? Well, because of research. For startups, especially startups that fail, and the statistics are really staggering on how little businesses make it past the first year. But for most businesses that are in the startup phase, 20 to 40% of all of the money that they have is what they spend on getting new customers. It's called acquisition. You already know that because, you're brilliant. But the problem when you bake in invisibility, when nobody knows who you are, when nobody's ever heard of the founder, when the founder refuses to face the camera or speak to audiences, that number is bumped up to 60% of what startups are forced to spend getting new customers, because you don't have any credibility, because nobody's ever heard of your name, okay? And because you need to build that trust from a place that somebody who already has the platform doesn't. So if you don't believe me, believe the statistics. I don't want your business and the beautiful projects that you're working on to fail because of fear. In fact, I want you to leverage that fear and use it as something that becomes rocket fuel to turbocharge where you're going. In this series, it's a 3-part series. I initially walked you through coming up with a moonshot vision, and not just moonshot, but something that is highly actionable for what your visibility could look like. Who are you as a thought leader? What does it even mean to consider yourself a famous expert? In the first chapter of this 3-part series, we unpacked that, and I encouraged you to download the worksheet that walks you through exactly how to make that actionable. In the second part of this training, we spoke about and we went all the way back to the root cause. What are the fears behind this thing? Because you know this better than anybody. It's not the actual thing itself of getting in front of a group of investors and pitching yourself, because you know your stuff cold. You sound like Beyonce when you're in front of the mirror practicing, but when it's time to actually deliver, like the notes that you come home with like, oh, I could have said this better, the way you beat yourself up, the way you're constantly in your head, sometimes even in the moment, right? Of like, am I using the right word? Oh my God, am I losing their attention? Who cares? Oh, they're totally judging me. Oh, they can see through me. I'm such a fraud. All of that is such a big part of the work. I mean, your mindset and understanding that fear. We spent a lot of time in the second chapter digesting this, unpacking it, and facing it head on. In this particular episode, we're going to talk about how to metabolize all of those pieces and bring them into embodying something different, right? How do you transmute? How do you transform? How do you change? How do you go from recognizing the fear to not being controlled by the fear, even as you recognize it, because it's always going to be there, let me tell you that, right? How do you recognize it and take the driver's seat, like put it in the passenger seat or tuck it in at night, whatever metaphor works for you, and be like, honey, I got this. I know, I hear you, but guess who's driving today? Mama's got this. That's the work that we're going to do today, and I hope you have your pen and paper out. And if you don't, if you're driving, I have you, because there is a worksheet, you guessed it, that goes along with this training. You can download it through the link in show notes, so make sure that you follow along. You don't need to take notes if that's not your jam, but I want you to pay attention, and I'm so excited to share this one, because this is when we start to embody, right? This is when we take everything that we've learned, all of these yummy, juicy things, including, by the way, I want to shout this out. If you're just catching this for the first time, I prefer that you pause and go back and listen to episode 1 and 2 of the training. But I want to call out, in those trainings, there's 7 days of challenges. There's 7 days of micro work every single day. So altogether, it's 14 days of here's how we keep that momentum going. This coaching, this is completely free, but this is something that is of service to help you now. You can start seeing ramifications and changes now. And when you're done, by the end of this coming week, if you implement everything that is in the worksheet that you can download, all the details are in the show notes. If you do all of this, let me tell you something, okay? You're gonna be a brand new human, and more importantly, you're going to be the kind of famous expert who uses only 20 to 40% of the money that she raises towards acquiring new clients, because your clients already know, trust, and love you. Okay, are you ready? Let's dive in. So I want to tell you a story, and this story is about a client. So I worked with this young woman. She is a PhD economics, super brilliant, African woman, works in New York City, young professional in her 30s. And we worked around her visibility work because she is somebody who is unbelievably talented. Like, the ideas that come out of her head, I'm like, ma'am, can you please just translate that brilliance into normal people speak so I can follow along? She's at that level of, just a light. Like, what do you say when somebody thinks like light? That's how fast her mind works. And yet, this is somebody for whom speaking organically, speaking naturally and authentically, and allowing herself to be seen, right? Especially in work circumstances, this isn't something that necessarily comes easily to her. Give her anything that's analytic based, and this beast is just, she goes into beast mode. But when it comes to storytelling and also telling the story in a way that's as animated as it is when she's at drinks with her friends, that's something else that we had to work on. That's that authenticity work, right? Of how do we translate who you are when you show up in those circles where you're relaxed? How do we bring that into the work context, but where it's appropriate for the work context? Like, we're not over here at work drinking like with our buddies. We're pitching really important board members something that has high impact across the nation, right? So we want to make sure that we're coming with our game face, but we're also, like, our game face can also be authentic to who we are. Turning point for this young woman came when she began trusting herself to show up in ways that were authentic to her. So it was really interesting working with her, because as a coach, I wanted to give her skills that were, how do you give the speech, for example, without the notes? But what I appreciated and learned through working with her and meeting her where she was is actually the notes made her a lot more comfortable, right? And the notes allowed her to show up, because she was comfortable, as a more authentic human being. She wasn't just an automaton trying to memorize this thing that was like, this is the only way that you can give a speech. Long story short, by the end of our working together, I am so proud to say, okay, sis was called into a very last minute speech that she had to give because her higher up wasn't available at that specific time and place. Like, he ended up being engaged somewhere else, and they're at the very last minute, like, she's about to leave, grab her things, end of the day, and they're like, no fam, we actually need you to go all the way another side of New York to give the speech instead of the boss who would have been there. And what I'm most proud of is how authentically she showed up. I wasn't in the room because, again, she's a client, but she described feeling in her power. She described really believing and owning this part of herself and seeing people's reactions. Like, a couple of people came up afterwards and connected to what she said. And we're like, okay, like, can we keep building this?
Hey, pull up. Just you and me for a second. Are you an exec, a founder, or an entrepreneur who's sick of shrinking in rooms you're overqualified to lead? It's time to stop playing small and start owning your expertise. But how, Machochodi? Girl, I got you. I offer coaching that helps women of color just like you to claim your place as a thought leader. Whether you want to command a room, craft and share your signature story, or finally get that book out of your head and onto bookshelves, I've got the strategy and spicy accountability that you need. If you're tired of seeing less qualified folks shine while you stay behind the scenes, girl, the wait list is open. Follow the link in show notes to stop waiting for permission and claim your VIP spot now. My mission? Helping women just like you to snatch the spotlight, shake the table, and take your damn seat at the top already. No begging, no detours, and nope, no apologies. Just bold ass moves.
Because she used and continues to use the main character method. And that's what we're going to spend time talking about today. The main character method is about you embodying all of the things that we have spoken about around visibility. I want to make it really clear. I said this at the beginning of our training. Visibility equals vulnerability, right? To be visible means to make yourself vulnerable. But when you're the main character and when you're giving main character energy, I want you to think about your favorite Hollywood star or your favorite pop star. I mean, it's been Beyoncé era this summer all day. If you don't know, then I don't know. You really don't know. But I want you to think about how these people show up when they're on the stage. Let's think about Beyoncé. I went to one of her concerts this summer, and let me tell you, I've never seen main character energy like that anywhere. This woman owns every single inch, not just of the stage, of the entire stadium, and maybe I have goosebumps, and probably also of the whole city when she is in performance mode. And that's what I want you, first of all, to understand. You are capable of that level of aura and that level of embodiment. And main character energy method breaks it down and makes it simple for you. Begin with main, right? We're gonna unpack this acronym, main, M. M is for mindset. I need you to shift your mindset. And your mindset needs to shift to truly believing and understanding that you are her. You are that main character. You are that famous expert. You are a thought leader. You are a thought leader. You are a thought leader. I will never forget being on this particular podcast and speaking to somebody that I so admire, Yvonne Biggins, who is in every single category a thought leader, right? Like it's just tick, 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 tick across the board. Fancy education, lived experience, knows what the heck she's talking about, studied positive psychology with some of the best in not just the world, in the industry, who created positive psychology, rubbed shoulders and is serving clients who are top of their game entrepreneurs. She's been quoted in Business Insider, in Forbes. I mean, this woman is like, she was a former executive at Apple. She really is the real deal. And when I put out this word, you're a thought leader, and then I asked her some follow-up question, go and listen to that podcast. Not only was there a pause, but the pause was pregnant with like, who? Me? I'm a thought. And I was like, hold the record. Like, somebody needs to spill the tea, because this is not right. And this is what we do as women. We do not recognize ourselves, and we do not believe. We do not believe ourselves to be who we are in the world, how other people perceive us in the world. So I need you to really just soak this in at the bottom of your bone marrow. I am, and I need you to say it out loud with me. No matter how stupid or whatever you want to label it or corny, say it out loud. I am a thought leader. I am a thought leader. I am a thought leader. The first step in the main character method is believing. You fully have to embody this identity. The same way when you see Beyonce on that stage, she's not stepping up there and questioning like, So when I sing this song, do you think that like I should? No, she is it. When she sings, they don't no, yeah. She like, and I mean like she's got her daughter on that ish too. Like, have you seen Blue? Blue isn't even looking to her mom for cues to be like, okay, is this where I dance like this? Like Blue is just fully embodied in that moment. I need you to have that level of belief, mindset, and pay attention to whatever mindset shifts you need to work on in order to get there. Document your mindset shifts. Document the crazy thoughts that are running through your head. Go back to episode 2 of this 3-part training and unpack where do those fears come from. Consider coaching and consider how deep and how fast actually you can leapfrog to the next level by having somebody else point out your blind spots. This summer, I want to make it clear I am offering coaching that is all around going as deep as possible in this work through a sprint. You remember when you were in college, they always offered those summer intensives. This is exactly that. We are going to get you from where you are right now to damn near Beyonce levels, okay? Or just like Blue by the end of this summer. Applications for the Storytelling Summer Intensive close on August the 18th, Monday, August 18th. If you are interested, if you are serious, all of the notes are in the show. All of the notes are in show notes. So check out the show notes, okay? The links are in show notes. Goodness, look at me. My point though is I really need you to work on your mindset, and I need you to partner up with whoever it is that can elevate you in getting to that elevated, higher mindset. It could be a coach, could be a mom, could be a friend. I do recommend coaching. Yvonne, actually, when she was on this show, one of the things she pointed out to is the statistics for female entrepreneurs, especially, who get coaching as one of the ways that they cope with the difficulties of what it means to be an entrepreneur. I mean, it really skyrockets not just their success, but the bottom line of their business as well. Main. M is for mindset. You guessed it, A is for action. I want you to start taking action. These past 2 weeks, on purpose, all of the worksheets have walked you through micro actions that you can begin implementing from day 0. That's like, okay, let's face the fear. Okay, let's get ourselves out there. Let's actually be seen. Let's accept what it's like to have attention on us. Let's raise our hands. Let's put ourselves a little bit more on that edge of like, oh, I'm totally sticking out my neck here, being vulnerable. We're gonna do more of that. And in being more active, right? And in taking action, what I really want you to think about is how do you take action that meets the very first vision work that we did. So I don't want you to just focus on the micro actions, which we spent 14 days working on. I actually want you to start thinking about impossible action, right? And that's that I, so main. Impossible moves or impossible action. And I say impossible moves because I want you to punch so much further than where you think makes sense for you right now, or what you think you can do as you, right? As a thought leader who is becoming. And what I mean by this is I want you to go back to the very first worksheet that you downloaded. And if you haven't done this homework, here's your opportunity to pause and do that. You came up with moonshot ideas of what you would like to accomplish as a thought leader. This is your moment. This is the time when you begin taking action towards those moonshot ideas and vision, right? Maybe it's a TED Talk. Okay, what is an action that you can take today towards becoming a TED speaker by the deadline that makes sense to you within a time frame that's, makes sense for your life? Do you see what I'm saying? I want you to think about maybe your moonshot vision is becoming New York Times best-selling writer for a book that shows off your expertise. All right, totally doable. What about an article that you can write on the thesis of that book? Can we turn that article into your book proposal? And before we do that, by the end of today, can you send off a pitch for the article to a publication that you really love and respect? Maybe it's the New York Times, since you want to be a New York Times bestseller. By the end of the day, why don't you send a pitch to the person who covers features on your expertise? Do you see what I'm saying? Not only do I need you to take action, and yes, micro action is excellent, and I need you to stay on that diet because it builds that muscle every single day, but I want you to shoot for what seems like the impossible, for the moonshot, for the biggest thing out there. So when you think about Maine, work on your mindset, take action, the micro actions, but then come back to that impossible moonshot vision and think about how you're implementing that day to day, okay? And finally, for N, I really want you to understand that this is nonstop. It is nonstop, nonstop. Not only is it nonstop for you in reaching that moonshot goal, but once you reach the moonshot goal, and even before you reach that moonshot goal, you're going to see yourself elevating. Let me tell you something that's amazing that happens. When you start shifting your belief, when you start shifting your mindset, everything else around you actually recalibrates towards the new energy in you. Because don't let me say something and like don't come out here saying, oh, you're woo-woo, but this is actually metaphysics, okay? There's science behind this. And this that I'm talking about is when we shift our innards, our mindset, when we shift at that level, at the inner cellular level, at the soul level, the essence of the universe shifts to meet us there. It's like water finding its level. The work begins on the inside. You have to change your beliefs. You have to change what is possible for you from the inside out. And then the universe will actually start conspiring with you to make crazy things happen, okay? And it happens nonstop. So once you begin this work, you will find that things start coming to you that not only recognize you, like you are more seen, but also elevate your visibility. And as you do that, new beliefs will prop up that challenge, and also because they're becoming uncomfortable, right? They're like, wait a minute, like, hey, this is not, hey, you're exposing us too much. This is a little bit too much vulnerability. And those new beliefs will constantly compete for your attention, and you need to go back and do that mindset shift again. And you need to go back and take different actions now, and probably actions that have a lot more impact and also a lot more stakes that help you build social proof and confidence that yes, I can do this. And guess what? Your impossible actions, well, the moonshot actions, the things that are wild or seemed wild at the time, you'll look at your old list and you'll be like, TED Talk, psh, please, like we're on to the next. Now you've got some other goal that's even bigger than what seemed huge and elusive to you at the very beginning. And you do that work again and again. It's non-stop. Why am I pausing? Because I'm thinking of Beyonce. And I'm thinking of how this woman is so non-stop. I didn't have a chance to go to her Renaissance performance last year, but I do see how much in conversation this particular performance was this year. In Mrs. Carter's show, Mrs. Carter's show built on all of the strength of not only Renaissance, but everything that came before. It's completely nonstop. And by the way, she didn't just wake up one day and produce the Mrs. Carter show, right? Or even put out Cowboy Carter album. She started off with those young, like they were just precious little girls when they started off with Destiny's Child. but they were non-stop. You build up and you have to start from somewhere. And every single time it's iterative. You do more self-awareness work, you get more coaching, you see your blind spots, you become your own best coach, because now you take what the coach is giving you and you implement it where you can catch yourself in real time, right? And when you're quaking on the stage and feeling like, remember when she put out that album and it was all around Sasha Fierce, and it was all around, if you don't know Beyonce's inner world, the time when she put out Sasha Fierce was to let us know, like, I have an alter ego, right? And my alter ego is Sasha Fierce, and when she shows up on the stage, she's the one who's like doing things that I'm a little shy girl when I get off the stage. I don't know who she is. And then she put out another album and she was like, actually, that's cute and everything. A reporter tried to ask about Sasha Fierce. She was like, I'm a grown woman. I don't really need Sasha Fierce the way that I did back then. Do you see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is it's completely nonstop, and it also builds on itself. The momentum builds on itself. So you're going to become a lot more comfortable being visible. Don't get me wrong. The fear never goes away and the work never stops, but your commitment, that's the thing that's really exciting. And if you use this main character energy framework, I promise you, this method gets results. Believe, first of all, do the work of mindset shift, right? Main, which is mind shift. Act, take action, take daily micro action to build your muscle. Impossible moves, go back to your vision and update it if you need to, but make sure you're also punching way above your weight and you're doing things that feel like moonshot, and you're working towards your moonshot vision and not just small wins for today. And then you need to be nonstop, because you're beast, you are a beast, and the brilliance behind your expertise, the brilliance behind the business that you have built or that you support, that deserves the spotlight. That deserves the spotlight. And it doesn't deserve the spotlight only 2 days out of the year. It deserves the spotlight 365, honey, okay? It's like me, basically. Your brilliance is like your girl who needs sunshine 365 degrees. I have moved a whole it's not continent, but I've moved countries, zip codes, everything, just so I can sit here and be in sunshine 365, because I am that human. I need it 365, okay? Guess what? Your brilliance needs that kind of sunshine on it the same exact way. And if you're really serious about doing this work, or you would just like to have some support in doing this work and grounding deeper, I would love, it would be the honor of, it is the honor of my life, because this is intimate work. Supporting people and getting to know their deep fears and unrooting that and walking with them through changing their belief and, seeing them transform, like the client that I described earlier. That is an honor that I don't take lightly. If that's something that you're interested in, I am offering the Summer Storytelling Intensive this summer. Deadline is August the 18th. I was right. The deadline is August the 18th, Monday, August the 18th. That's when applications close. And it is an opportunity for you and I to work together one-on-one, for us to take some of the ideas here and put them towards your moonshot, big moves vision, right? Whatever that is, I'm here to help you make it real. And that includes the mindset work where you need a little bit of support. That includes the action, the daily steps, the micro action. It also includes having somebody hold you accountable. And you better believe it includes craft, chops, like actually building on research and building on what you've already done, because I know you have the receipts. It's just time for the spotlight to take its shine on you. If you're interested in that, all of the notes, all of the links are in show notes. Just make sure that you follow that link, you fill out the application. The deadline is Monday, August the 18th. We begin working with each other on August the 21st, and it's a sprint. It is purposefully an intensive. I hope that this serves whoever it is meant to serve. I hope that that person is you and that you're elevated by this work. Thank you again for listening to Madam Speaker Says. I am your host, Maho Khodi.